Hello, welcome back to my subscription box life. This is part 2 of the Adults and Crafts soap making kit. I have both of my blocks of soap here in front of me, and I have the mold. I'm going to make a lavender vanilla. So I have the lavender petals here, the purple dye, and the lavender scented oil and the French vanilla scented oil. They gave me a plastic, microwavable plastic like pitcher type thing to cut my soap up and put it into the microwave, but I think I'm going to make one layer with the lavender scent and then another layer with the vanilla scent, and I'm going to alternate them. So I decided to try it in my coffee mugs. I promise I will wash them out before anybody drinks coffee out of them, but I'm going to try it in these mugs and see how it goes. Adults and Crafts wants you to cut your blocks in half and then again in half. So this soap, my little soap bars, are going to be 4 layers. So this will be one layer, this will be another layer, and then this block will become 2 more layers. It's easy to cut through. It's not difficult at all. And by the way, I am in my kitchen and my dogs are with me. So if you hear doggy noises or household noises, it's because I'm in my kitchen. So now all I have to do is put my little soap into the cup. So this is going to be my lavender, this one is going to be my vanilla, and put them in the microwave. So I'm first going to do the lavender cup, and I'm going to pour into the mold, and then we will wait and let it set. Right, so I'm going to go to the microwave. I'll be right back. All right, so I microwaved this. It took about 1 minute to get the little soap blocks to melt. I did it in 10-second increments, so about 6 times with stirring in between. And there, I don't feel any more chunks in here. So it says to add your dye. And to make the bottom layer your darkest. So it says about 20 drops of the dye. So let's do that. I think that'll be good. Stir that in. I don't care if it's swirly either, so if I don't get it stirred in evenly, that doesn't matter to me. And now I need to put the lavender scent in. It says to put about 1/4 of the tube in, but this is a really dark tube, so I am not sure if I'll measure this accurately, but it says just 1/4 to put in. So let's see how we do. About 1/4. I might have put a little bit more than 1/4 in, I'm not sure. It smells really good. That was the lavender. All right. And now I just have to pour it in. Let me get the silicone lining in here good. Okay, here we go. much in here as I can. I may over pour just a little bit. And since there's a little left in, that doesn't matter to me because I'm going to make another layer with the lavender scent. And now that I have this poured in, I'm actually just going to, it doesn't say to tap it, but I'm going to tap it a little bit to get some of the bubbles to come to the surface. And then this is isopropyl alcohol. I'm going to move this a little bit closer here. And it says to spray 2 or 3 of the isopropyl alcohol on the top of this, and it will help get rid of the bubbles and it will help the layers stick together. So let's see, there we go. 3, 4. Okay, and I don't know if you could see that on the camera, but the bubbles that were on the surface immediately popped. And now we just have to let this sit and just harden a little bit, and then we'll get ready and put the next layer on, which will be the vanilla scented layer. All right, so far so good. I let this set for about 30 minutes. That's how long it took in my house for this to get not 100% solid. It said firm, but a little bit squishy, for lack of better words. And so it took in my house about 30 minutes for that to happen. I went ahead and melted the next block of soap for the next layer that we're going to put on. I am going to put the vanilla scent in it. But first I want to add some color. I'm not going to add as much as the first time. This is going to be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to only put about 10 drops in. All right, that was about 10 drops of the purple color. Stir this in, and by the way, this green mat is not part of the kit. This is one of my little cutting boards. I did protect my space with paper, but I wanted to protect it even further, so I decided to use this little cutting board. This still looks pretty dark, so I'm not quite sure how it's going to differentiate between this layer. We'll find out when we cut it. I'm going to add the vanilla. It says again to put just a quarter of this bottle in. So, and again, it's hard to measure because it's really dark. It's hard to see, but I think that's probably, I might have put half in. I'm going to have some very smelly soap, but it smells really good. I have to tell you, that vanilla smell smells wonderful. It's one of my favorite scents. So I'm just doing the exact same thing I did with the first layer, except I'm putting less dye in and the vanilla oil in it. All right, I think it's ready to pour. And we'll do the exact same thing. We will let it set for about 30 minutes, and then we'll come back and put the third layer on. Get as much out as I can. Spray our isopropyl alcohol on it. I'm going to tap it a little bit to try to get some of the bubbles up. Spray the alcohol on. It takes those bubbles away like the snap of a finger. All right, half an hour, and I will be back with you again, and we'll put our next layer on, which will be another lavender layer. All right, we'll be right back. All right, I went ahead and added one lavender layer here off camera, and now this will be the fourth layer that I have here in my cup, and this will be another vanilla layer. I'm not going to add any dye to this, but I am going to add a little bit of the scent, just a tiny bit. Stir it in. Get it all mixed in here good. I'm going to pour it on. I'm going to try to do it as evenly as I can. Use my little stir stick to get as much out as I can, because this is the last layer that I'm putting on. Spray with the isopropyl alcohol to get the bubbles off. See, one little bubble right here. I'm going to try to pop it. And it doesn't really matter at this point, because I'm going to take my little lavender petals that I received in the kit, and I'm going to sprinkle them on the top. If I can get the bag open. There we go. I'm just going to take them and sprinkle them evenly along. And they said that you can use like oatmeal and different things like that. Anything to make a little like an exfoliator in your soap. I have it thicker in some spots more than others, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to be cutting the soap up, so I don't think you'll notice that it's uneven once I get the soap cut up. I think that's enough for right now, and it says to just tap it down lightly. So that's what I'm doing. As far as this project goes, it was a pretty easy project. Just a lot of waiting time in between the layers. All right, now I have to let this dry for 2 hours, and then we will take the soap out of the mold and cut it up. Right, 2 hours has passed and everything feels like it is solid now. I'm not sure how much of the lavender petals are going to stay on here when I take this out, but we are at the point now where we can take our soap out of the mold. This is my first time doing this, so bear with me. Some of the petals I'm sure are going to fall off. Okay, it's out. Now we're going to loosen the soap from the sides of this. As you can see, some of the petals are coming off. It's okay, I put plenty on. So we can get this out. In the picture, it shows they kind of folded this back. Yes, that's coming off a lot easier. Oh, look! You can see the different layers. I wasn't sure if you were going to be able to differentiate these two very well, but it did. It turned out nice. You can see it gets lighter as it goes to the top, and that's exactly how I wanted it to look. And this comes out of the mold very easily. So here we have our block of soap, and it smells really good. I'm gonna set this aside. And I have the soap cutter right here. And in the picture, from the directions from Adults in Craft, it shows to put this in here and just slice it up right here through these grooves. But I want to have a few nice, thick pieces of soap. I'm going to give them as gifts. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut 2 larger slices and then maybe 1 smaller one for myself, but I'm going to give these as gifts. So I think I'm going to make the first this big. Actually, I'm not going to use this to cut that. I want the edges to be straight. So I'm going to use just my knife. See how easy this is. It's very easy to cut through. All right, so I have my first little block here. I'm going to make this one the same size. This one did cut through. It's stuck on the knife. There we go. Be careful that you do not cut yourself when doing this project. There we go. It came off. All right, so now I have 2 larger blocks. I'm going to cut this in half, but I'm going to use this tool to do it. As you can see, this tool has this pretty little designed edge. So I'm going to make one side of the piece of soap. And this is actually a little bit bigger. I'm going to put it right here in between these 2. So I'm going to make 2 thicker pieces of soap with this black here. Let's do this in the center here a little bit better. See how we do. Right, it's a little harder to push down with this tool than it was with the sharp knife, but it's not really, it's not difficult to do. And I have 2 nice thick pieces of soap that I can give as gifts. One's a little bigger than the other. That's okay, but it has this pretty little wavy edge to it, and these smell really good. This soap, the melting soap that Adults in Craft gave us, is very, you can tell it's very moisture rich. You can just tell on your hands. It doesn't give an ingredients list, but you can definitely tell there's moisture. And I do know there's shea butter in it because that's what it said. But now I have 2 cute little pieces of soap. It says to wrap it in saran wrap and to save it. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll have 4 bigger pieces of soap like this, because I'm going to cut this one in half too. And then I am going to cut this one in half and make 2 smaller bars of soap just for myself. All right, so this craft was more of like a little beginner's guide to making soap. And the great thing is that now I have all of the tools, and I can go online and find recipes to make my own soap from scratch with all of the ingredients in it that I want. And I have this handy dandy little cutting tool and our mold here. So I can go ahead and make whatever kind of soap I want now. But for starters, this was nice. It was an easy craft project. I have never made soap before, and I had been curious about how to make it. So now I know how. And great gifts, great for yourself. This even smells like something you could wrap in saran wrap and put in a drawer to keep like a closet or your drawer smelling nice, or next to you know, your stinky shoe area closet where by the front door where you put all your shoes when you come in the house. Kind of a little natural air freshener even. Okay, so this is Adults in Craft. I'm going to put the details on where you can find them down into the details of this video. And also go check out my blog, mysubscriptionboxlife.com. I've been working really hard on it to get it up and going and exactly the way you and I want it to look. And so go check it out, mysubscriptionboxlife.com. Subscribe to this channel and have a fantastic day. I am so glad that you were able to join me. Stick around. I have a few more boxes to show you.